Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we gotta talk about Gray Zone Warfare once again now that I've been playing through their newest update, the 0.3 Winds of War, that centers around PvP and getting some kind of player-controlled objectives added into the gameplay loop via the COP POIs that you can capture for your faction, where you can do your trading, turn in missions, and pretty much everything you can do at your main base of operations. In theory, this sounds amazing, being that it was meant to address the main pain points of the game, things like cutting down helicopter travel, encouraging PvP, and overall adding something to do other than missions and possibly PvP if you're lucky, being that this is a 60 square kilometer map with only around 48 players. And as this does solve the issue of flying back to your main base every single time you complete a set of missions, the fact that this is an update centered around PvP and the marketing for this update saying just that, I gotta say, there is no fucking PvP, or at the very least, very little. And that is going to have a lot of people disappointed who jump back into this game thinking finally player interaction matters. This was supposed to be the answer to an open world Tarkov. PvP in this PvP update doesn't seem to matter, and that has me worried about the future of Gray Zone Warfare, to be frank. So I want to get into the many reasons and design choices the developers have made that make this such a problem and how I would go about fixing these issues, because I believe in this game. I really do. Anyone familiar with this channel will know I'm not the most optimistic person when it comes to the success of a video game, but for this very rare instance with Gray Zone Warfare, I am a believer. That being said, when it comes to the entertainment industry, consumers are unforgiving, and I just don't know how many more times a game like this can survive another flatline in players it experienced after selling over 1.5 million fucking copies, only to come out the other end struggling to retain 3,000 concurrent players. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the most terminal issues with this game and how we can fix this problem, because god damn it, I want this game to be good. I really do, because the potential is endless for a project like this, and I just want a good game to play at the end of the day. I think we all do, or you wouldn't be sitting here and watching this right now. I think the thing that drives me the most crazy about this game is the cross progression from PvE to PvP, where you can play as much as you want in a PvE server, earning loot, money, and trader progressions, and bringing it right all over to the PvP server. This is not only obviously unfair to others that want that authentic PvP survival experience, where everything is earned with a risk of running into enemy players, but does a massive disservice to a looter shooter in that being able to just earn everything you want over in the PvE server to then just bring it over to the PvP server devalues any and everything you get in the game. This for me is a cardinal fucking sin to have in a looter shooter. With things like an economy, players can earn money and buy expensive gear and items that help you survive and dominate in a game like this, especially when it comes to PvP, because the incentive to kill an enemy player for some sweet gear is almost non-existent if you can just go get the same stuff within the safety of a PvE server. Gear, whether earning it or having it lost, adds to the crucial ingredient of tension in a looter slash shooter slash extraction game. I would go as far to say as this needs to be changed, or this game will not make it at all. I can guarantee its death within the next few years if this doesn't get changed, because it directly negates the risk in risk versus reward. There's no fucking risk. You can just get everything you want in PvE. It doesn't fucking matter. I can tell the reason the developers designed it this way is due to the very fact that this does not split the player base indefinitely. If you have people that like PvE but want to bring their gear over to PvP without losing progression, this helps mix the player base together. But let's be honest, very few people who play PvE would be willing to jump over to PvP servers because they aren't likely risk adverse and just want to do missions anyway. In my opinion, if you want a gameplay loop that engages players, you double down on that gameplay loop and make it as potent as possible for everyone. People play these games for the tension, the risk and reward. This mechanic dilutes that very idea. Get it out of here. Another thing they have added with this new update are the little PvP zones that pop up on the game map every time a PvP interaction happens, for everyone to see and encourage more PvP overall. But over the last few days of playing this update, I barely ever see this happening. I think that adding more players to a server overall could help with this. Right now, the world of Lemang feels too safe, too empty to always have your head in the game like Escape from Tarkov does. I can literally walk from one end of the map to the other and almost guarantee I will not see another player. In Tarkov, it forces you to plan routes carefully and consider every move due to the likelihood of where other other enemy players might be. Increasing the pop on a map like this would help, and also world events other than just the PvP itself could help encourage players to bottleneck into certain areas of the map, making it so PvP is not only more likely but actually involves a reward. Another issue with this game that I think just makes it bleed the shit out of players is the movement and also the bushes. The movement right now is pretty goofy. You can run and zigzag left to right on a dime, making it very hard for anybody to hit you, and that is incredibly annoying when you kill a player and go loot his gear, because he just comes right back with a knife or an AK and sprints right for you, getting all of his items back after knifing you to death, and that feels like shit. The movement is something I know they're changing, and in my opinion, the sooner the better. But there's something I am unsure about when it comes to things they're going to change, and that's of course the massive amount of bushes and vegetation in the game. Look, I know this is Southeastern Asia, tropical island, it looks gorgeous, and it's immersive to be an operator despite the environment around you, but nerf the fucking bushes. Right now you can pass seamlessly through them like they aren't even there, with only a slight rustling as you brush by like you're a specter to their physical existence. And the bush camping can get a little annoying. Have you ever tried to step into a thick bush in real life? I did, as R&D for this very video, and let me tell you, you pretty much can't. Not without scratching the shit out of your face and arms and making a whole lot of sound. I doubt real life operators use the thickest bush possible to sit in and camp for others to show up around them so they can step out quietly and take their shot. It's not a good tactic, and they need to add some serious auto and movement resistance to bushes in this game. There is one thing I think this game could do really well when it comes to a crucial aspect about looter shooters in general, and that's dynamicism. There are a few things I would like to point out when it comes to what Gray Zone could do specifically to help with this, and it would involve the nighttime cycles and weather. I love that they added weather. It certainly adds dynamic, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If there was some way to have a dangerous storm or night times in Lemang spawn better loot, different enemy types, or dynamic missions, it would add far more incentive to go out into a world during a more dangerous time. Adding moon cycles where some nights in the world are far more dark than others would help with this also, but this would not go without making the NVGs more viable. Right now, night vision looks incredibly realistic, but that is the reason I don't even bother with them. They are too grainy and hard to use. But NVGs should help you play the game, not just be so realistic you can't play it at all. I love the idea of night vision. They are immersive, and the fact that you have the benefit of seeing at night with the risk of losing this expensive piece of equipment if you die is just low-hanging fruit for your risk versus reward in Gray Zone. I don't know, right now I just feel as though players jumping in for the amazing PvP update are going to be let down, and it won't be the first time they've done this. Players jumping into Gray Zone after all the hype a year ago were let down when the performance made the game nearly unplayable. But a year after that, the very thing players coming back for, PvP, could very well be just as underwhelming, and Gray Zone needs to pull out some more depth and gameplay mechanics that will help increase tension and create an environment that keeps players on edge at all times. Looking around, finding great loot, never knowing when the next crack of a bullet will be your death, that is what puts some fucking balls into an experience. At the end of the day, we're being told that this game is only around 20 to 30% fully complete, and I believe the developers will surprise us in more ways than I think. But I don't want the hype train around Gray Zone Warfare to be a crying wolf situation where the next big marketing push that they have just kind of falls flat on its face. I personally really like Gray Zone Warfare, and I think others should try out the experience, but I'm biased. I'm a slow player. I want that sort of immersive gameplay, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking about what makes for a better game, not just something that feels cool to play. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for sitting through this rant. If you want some more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out being the small channel that I am. I appreciate you guys watching, and have yourselves a very nice day.